My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And to read my writing and to see my latest CNN appearances and my MSNBC and RT appearances, you can go to hagoodman.com. The link below to my appearance on RT's Crosstalk. The link is below. And I thank you for the kind words, and thank you for the support. It means a great deal to me. I also have an article out in the Huffington Post. Vote your conscience, vote for WikiLeaks, and vote for Dr. Jill Stein. So that article is out. It's below as well. If you find it intriguing, please share it. I want to first address something. So WikiLeaks 33 is out. So WikiLeaks 1 through 33 had enough revelations to sink any campaign. So if Hillary Clinton was any other candidate, there would be no way that her campaign would be around at this point. We know that there are 500 conflicts of interest with the Clinton Foundation. We know that Bill Clinton, in one WikiLeaks email, is paid personally by 3 CGI sponsors, Clinton Global Initiative sponsors. We know that Chelsea Clinton used Clinton Foundation money to pay for her wedding. We know, most importantly, and Julian Assange has stated this, that one of the most important emails was Hillary Clinton accepting money from Qatar and Saudi Arabia to the Clinton Foundation, knowing those two nations fund IS. This is not only a conflict of interest, it is a threat to national security. She actually states that in an email regarding the acknowledgement of these countries funding IS. And then within that email, it says sources include U.S. intelligence, Western intelligence. So that email alone is a classified document. We know that she's mailed classified documents via, even within the WikiLeaks emails, via her private server. We know that March 2nd, Podesta says, hey, let's dump the email. So the cover-up starts then. We also know that March 7th, Cheryl Mills already states, hey, President Obama doesn't have any emails from Hillary Clinton with the state.gov. We have a whole bunch of other emails showing that President Obama knew about Hillary Clinton's private server. And there's so many other issues between the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Keystone XL, that essentially if you're an environmentalist and you're voting for Hillary Clinton because you think Trump is worse, her private face when it comes to that is definitely not going to address climate change. We learned that from the WikiLeaks email. So we learned so much, but really quickly, with all due respect to everyone, and I am so happy and honored that my channel is growing, and I really do have the best comment section on YouTube, like hands down the best. But I want to just respectfully say something. You cannot, as an American citizen, as a human being, you cannot go into the next 4 years, whether it's Hillary Clinton, let's say Hillary Clinton wins, or Donald Trump, and I'll get to some really, really interesting poll numbers in key battleground states that show Trump is winning. But you cannot go into the election with a defeatist mentality. You cannot say, oh, she's so connected. Oh, for the second time, the FBI didn't indict her. She's untouchable. Nobody is untouchable on the planet. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody is so powerful that they can't slip up. And it happened to Nixon. It happened in many ways to Bill Clinton. It's already happened to Hillary Clinton, but the FBI is essentially, before they were a Russian organization, according to Robbie Mook and Brian Fallon, Hillary Clinton and Podesta. Now the FBI is in their good graces, but the FBI isn't going to indict Hillary Clinton, apparently, under President Obama's tenure. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is this. She'll probably have less influence as president for a number of reasons, because she won't have President Obama's administration being linked to all her madness. In that way, that might give certain organizations or agencies within the government a little bit more autonomy. But don't lose your hope in humanity, the future, and don't lose your understanding in life that the most powerful, corrupt people who lie all the time continually engage in reckless behavior that leads to the end of their campaigns. We know Richard Nixon is an example. And there are many examples throughout the world. We can spend a whole segment just recently on very, very powerful people who've lost their leadership roles. That being said, so don't try not to say, oh, you know, she's so powerful, she'll never, you don't know that, we don't know that, and stay hopeful even if she's elected. That being said, this is my humble opinion. That being said, Donald Trump is up in Florida. Donald Trump is up in North Carolina. Donald Trump is up in Nevada. Donald Trump is up in Ohio. So, in the Real Clear Politics toss-ups, it says it's 203 safe electoral votes for Clinton, 164 safe electoral votes for Trump, 171 toss-ups. But if he wins Florida, so he's up by a very slight margin in an average of polls in Florida. In an IBD poll nationally, he's up by 2. In an average of polls, he's down by like around 2. But the thing is, it's not about national polls anymore. It's about swing state polls. Florida and Ohio, okay, that just alone, 18 electoral votes for Ohio, 29 electoral votes for Florida. He's not only tied, he's above now the safe votes for Clinton. So all he has to do is win Ohio and Florida. And he is now, it's a new ball game. When people say, oh, he has margin of error so limited, a lot of the states that Hillary Clinton was depending upon have now either switched to red or are switching to red. So he's up in Florida, he's up in Ohio. I love how they list Georgia and Arizona as swing states. Isn't that great, this election? Everything is like, they're going to go Republican. In Nevada, he is up 1.5. In Florida, he is up by a tiny margin, but he's still up, considering that Newsweek runs a story now. Everyone's working for Hillary Clinton. Let's put it that way. So if he wins Florida, Ohio, he wins Nevada, he wins North Carolina, that's the thing. North Carolina is, Hillary Clinton was supposed to win North Carolina to cement her lead. North Carolina has 15 electoral votes. And to my amazing subscribers, if you live in North Carolina, tell me what you think. Do you see a lot of Trump signs or do you see a lot of Clinton signs? Because Trump is up by 1, and he was down by a whole bunch not long ago. He was down by 6 late October. Now he's up by 1. So we can go on. If you go on Real Clear Politics, you can look at the swing state polls, and if you can see that Trump has a very, very realistic possibility of winning. He's on his way to winning. If there's no, Clinton is known to cheat, so if there's no massive election fraud on Clinton's behalf, he can definitely go ahead and win. And he's on his way to winning. I think he will win. And you got to have that positive. I mean, not just the swing state polls show that his momentum. The momentum is all Donald Trump's. I mean, I'm voting for Dr. Jill Stein, but I do think that Trump is by far the lesser evil. But you can't go into any election, any competition, any contest, 4 years of Hillary, if she happens to win, and say, oh, woe is me, she's untouchable. Nobody on the planet is untouchable. Just remember that. There's nobody on the planet that can continually engage in reckless behavior. Richard Nixon is an example. So if you think that Hillary Clinton is above the law, Richard Nixon was not above the law. You're looking at another Richard Nixon, but this time a Democrat. I actually wrote an article in The Hill. If Nixon had email, he'd be Hillary Clinton. So if Hillary Clinton wins, you're looking at Richard Nixon with another Watergate, but this time with the Clinton Foundation. Trump is on his way to winning. So when people say, well, this was tweeted out by WikiLeaks just recently, that, Bill Clinton, a lot of his policies directly correlated to the attack on Trump that, he didn't pay taxes. I'll read you two very interesting articles. International Business Times, and I'll put them below. Hillary Clinton accepted donations from tax avoiders, slammed Donald Trump for exploiting tax loophole. A new Hillary Clinton campaign video attacks her opponent, Donald Trump, over a report that suggests he may have used a legal loophole to pay no federal income tax. The Democratic presidential candidate appears to hold her supporters to a lower standard, however. Her family foundation and campaigns have accepted money from some companies that have evaded taxes legally, like Trump, and others that have been caught violating tax laws. Clinton herself has released her family's tax returns going back decades, showing that she'd paid between 25 and 38% of her income taxes. Eventually, she said that Trump had not paid his fair share. Clinton didn't say, though, that about UBS back in 2009 when she intervened to help the Swiss bank as it faced IRS scrutiny. As the Wall Street Journal reported in 2015, Clinton helped broker a deal between UBS and the IRS. So when you talk about, which allowed the bank to reveal only 4,450 of 52,000 accounts that regulators suspected evaded tax laws. Before the intervention, UBS had donated less than $60,000 to the Clinton Foundation. By the time Clinton's tenure at the State Department ended, UBS had given around $600,000 to the Clinton Foundation, and people cannot find quid pro quo. What kind of people are in the FBI or in agencies within the U.S. government where they can't find quid pro quo here? It has formally partnered with the Clinton Foundation to launch a $32 million entrepreneurship program and paid Bill Clinton $1.5 million for making appearances with UBS. UBS then paid a $780 million settlement in 2009 after it admitted to helping tens of thousands of Americans illegally evade taxes. And she does UBS a favor as they give the Clinton Foundation enormous sums of money. The favor was pertaining directly to tax evasion. During the 2016 election, UBS employees, executives have given over $80,000 to the Clinton campaign. Another backer with tax issues, Credit Suisse, has donated more than $200,000 to Hillary Clinton over the course of her political career. And there's another issue with that. Citigroup, Clinton's fourth largest donor over the course of her career, has avoided paying over $10 billion in taxes. $10 billion in taxes by using legal tax shelters overseas, according to U.S. So she doesn't mind. First of all, she didn't mind giving UBS, doing a big favor for UBS. And she doesn't mind taking money from investment banks who do the same thing Trump does, but in a more egregious manner, especially when you're talking about UBS being investigated for sheltering all these people and then, giving Clinton some money. Right here, before the intervention, UBS had donated less than $60,000 to the Clinton Foundation. By the time Hillary Clinton hooked them up, Clinton's tenure at State Department ended. UBS had given around $600,000 to the foundation. And Vox would say, well, that's just a coincidence. What about the weapons deals? Well, that's just a coincidence. What about the AP report that says 85 donors gave $156 million? Well, that's just a coincidence. Well, what about Qatar giving $1 million for Bill Clinton's birthday? That's just a coincidence. Well, what about Saudi Arabia giving money, even though Hillary Clinton knows that they fund IS? Oh, that's just a coincidence. What about Chelsea Clinton's paying for her wedding? Coincidence. What about Chelsea Clinton's husband using the foundation to enrich himself? A coincidence. Not just correlation. Didn't cause it, just correlate. What about Bill Clinton making $50 million from the Clinton Foundation? Oh, just a coincidence. What about the $60 million in future income that the Clinton Foundation officials helped broker for Bill Clinton. Another coincidence. Everything's a coincidence. Everything's just a mistake. Everything's just a benign little misunderstanding. You and I, we are all smarter than this, and we know this is not sustainable, even if Hillary Clinton becomes president. Give me your thoughts below. This all relates to WikiLeaks 1 through 33 and the DNC WikiLeaks email 2, the second batch. I am stating it for the world to hear. If, and I've put this out on Twitter, and if Donna Brazile is fired from CNN, CNN must fire Wolf Blitzer. Otherwise, that is a racist action on the part of CNN to say, no, Donna Brazile, you can't feed questions to Hillary Clinton, but Wolf Blitzer will allow you to get away with questions in the DNC and you being linked to direct communication and collusion with the DNC to help Hillary Clinton. That's not fair. If they went after Donna Brazile, they should go after Wolf Blitzer. Give me your thoughts below. WikiLeaks 1 through 33 is out. Tomorrow is election day, and Trump is on his way to winning. Give me your thoughts. Thank you so much for listening. If Hillary Clinton was any other candidate, there would be no way that her campaign would be around at this point. We know that there are 500 conflicts of interest with the Clinton Foundation. We know that Bill Clinton, in one WikiLeaks email, is paid personally by 3 CGI sponsors, Clinton Global Initiative sponsors. My name is H.A. Goodman, and I'm an author, columnist, and journalist. And to read my writing and to see my latest CNN appearances and my MSNBC and RT appearances, you can go to hagoodman.com. The link below to my appearance on RT's Crosstalk. The link is below. And I thank you for the kind words, and thank you for the support. It means a great deal to me. I also have is a threat to national security. She actually states that in an email regarding the acknowledgement of these countries funding IS. And then within that email, it says sources include U.S. intelligence, Western intelligence. So that email alone is a classified document. We know that she's mailed classified documents. We have an article out in the Huffington Post. Vote your conscience, vote for WikiLeaks, and vote for Dr. Jill Stein. So that article is out. It's below as well. If you find it intriguing, please share it. I want to first address something. So WikiLeaks 33 is out. So WikiLeaks 1 through 33 had enough revelations to sink any campaign. So we know that Chelsea Clinton used Clinton Foundation money to pay for her wedding. We know, most importantly, and Julian Assange has stated this, that one of the most important emails was Hillary Clinton accepting money from Qatar and Saudi Arabia to the Clinton Foundation, knowing those two nations fund IS. This is not only a conflict of interest,